Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm Tim, and today I am continuing my playthrough of Silent War 2.0 with the IGN expansion, campaign number 3, Turning the Tide. We're getting ready to start week 1 of March 1944. So it's been a while since I've had this game on the table. I just finished up about 2.5 month playthrough of Skies Above Britain. We did an entire 4-chapter campaign of that game. So be sure to check that out if you haven't already, if you're interested in that. But yeah, so it's been a minute since we've had this out. So I may be a little bit rusty here as we're getting started. Might take me a bit to get back into the swing of things here. Before we get started, as I was setting things back up, I realized something that I missed back in week 1 of February. There were 4 IJN ships that were supposed to be removed from the mix. No, they're over here, sorry. 5 IJN ships that were supposed to be removed. The DD Asashimo. No, wait, not removed. Sorry, these were supposed to be added. Getting mixed up here. These were supposed to be added back in February. I think the only one that was supposed to be removed had already been sunk. I think we did cover that. But then I forgot to check to see if there were any new ones coming in. So the DD Asashimo, the DD Kishinami, the DD Okinami, the AL Tamatsu Maru. It's one of those Imperial Japanese Army ships. And then a carrier, the Chiyoda. And this is one of those conversion ships. I think I've talked about this before. There's actually, I think it's an AV Chiyoda that's in the game earlier on. The Chitose is the other one. And so even though the IJN rules don't actually specify this, what should happen is when this is coming in, you need to check to see if the AL or the AV Chiyoda had been sunk, because if it was, then this won't come in, because obviously they can't convert it if it's been sunk. The same thing goes for the Chitose. So planning on, when we finally get to be able to update the IJN rules and the scenario book to 2.1, I want to try to make sure we have a note in there about that. Same holds true for the 2 BVs, the Issei and the Hyuga, which are the converted battleships. If their battleship counterpart is sunk, then their conversion ship can't come into play. But anyway, we're going to add these into the cups. So that gives us a second carrier to go after. That one goes in the auxiliaries, and these 3 all go in the destroyer cup. Okay, then for March, which we're just starting, we have 4. I think there was actually more than this. The others we've already sunk, but these 4 that were still in the mix: the DD Maikaze, the Fumisuki, the Oite, and the Tachikaze or the Takakaze. They are all departing, being withdrawn from service. So those will come out of the mix, and then they're getting 1 new ship this month, the CV Taiho, which we did put the base game version of this. There's a named version of this in the base game. We did put it into Cup D, but we need to also add the its IJN counterpart, because if we draw that, we'll have to actually replace it with this one. So they actually have 3 carriers now for us to go after. All right, so we'll set these aside with the IGN ships that have been withdrawn. I think that's this bag. Why is that one in there though? Oh, yeah, we're past June 43. That's why. Duh. All right, yeah, this is the bag that I have all the IGN ships that have withdrawn. We'll put those in there. All right, and then I have our new subs that we're going to be getting as reinforcements, but we'll get to that when we get to the RRR segment. All right, and you may have noticed I have a couple of dice out on the board. That's to mark the subs that are being withdrawn. I went ahead and figured out where all those were so we wouldn't have to search for those once we get to that point. All right, so let's go ahead and get started here. War event phase. We're rolling a D10, and if the I'm actually going to roll both dice. If the black die is a 0 to 3, we'll have a war event, and we'll use the value of the white die to see which one it is. So we do not have a war event. Torpedo improvement phase, we're not anywhere close to that point. We're at 563 ships sunk. And the first check is at, where's that chart? Here it is. The first check, because we're already at +1, so we're looking at going from +1 to +2. The first check isn't available until we've sunk 1,040 ships, so yeah, we're nowhere close. All right, next is the intelligence and weather event phase. So we're going to roll on the ultra table. It's right here. Roll D10 and look up for War Period 3, where our ultra areas are going to be. 7 is going to be the Bonins and South China Sea 2. So the Bonins, which is up here, and South China Sea 2. Those are both very doable. Probably take advantage of those. All right, next up is the weather phase. So we are in March. Let's see, we haven't been rolling for weather, I think, the last couple months. Oh, I guess it was just February was the first month that we didn't roll, and then we're not going to be rolling for March either. So no weather roll this month. And that will lead us to, sorry, just getting my charts all in order here. The RRR segment. So we got our submarine reinforcement phase. So if we consult the scenario book, the master submarine reinforcement list for where are we at? Over here. March of 44. So we already took care of adding the CV Taiho and the 5 DE Matsu counters into the war mix. We did that at the end of the last episode because I actually had them sitting out there on the turn track so I wouldn't forget about them. So we're getting these 4 new submarines. So we have the Bang, the Golay, the Pampanito, and the Parche, or the Parche. Parche, probably. All Balao class. So we'll be getting all of those in at Pearl Harbor. I believe they go to the broom box, if I remember correctly. And then we have, withdrawing, we have the muskellunge, the guardfish, the albacore, the barb, and the amberjack. Well, of those 5, the only ones that haven't been sunk already are the muskellunge, which I believe is right here. Yep, that's why, and they're already RTBing, so they'll just start making their way back. And then the albacore is already at Pearl Harbor, so they can just go immediately to West Coast refit. And then I'm going to go ahead and put a double RTB marker on the muskellunge as a reminder that they are withdrawing. And then returning, unfortunately a lot of these have already been sunk as well. We just have, of that list, all that we have is the grouper and the harder that are coming back. The paddle, the pargo, the grunion, and the stingray have all been sunk. And they will likewise go to the broom box at, I think they can actually go to either Dutch Harbor or Pearl Harbor because of this dashed lines that are showing here, but we'll send them to Pearl Harbor. All right. That should be it for the reinforcement phase. And we have the ready submarine phase. So anyone that's in pier side will go ready for sea. Those in the broom box will roll to see if they roll equal to or less than their readiness rating. They'll go in the ready for sea box. Otherwise, they'll go in the pier side box. Mainly reading that to remind myself how this works. All right, let's go ahead and start over here at the tenders since we're right here. So we have at the Fulton, we have the Kingfish that's ship side, so he just automatically goes ready for sea. Same thing at the Sperry with the halibut, and at the Bushnell with the sailfish. Then we'll need to roll for the rest of these. So readiness number is here in the upper right hand corner, so we need a 5 or less for the steelhead to go ready for sea. No. Also need a 5 or less for the billfish. Yes. And for the bowfin. Yes. All right, and here's one we really want to pass. This is the Tang with Andrews, Super Skipper. So 5 or less for them. No. All right, 4 or less for the porpoise. They made it. Archerfish, 5 or less. Yes. Wow, I'm just rolling 8s and 3s, it seems like. And 5 or less for the darter. Look at that, 8s and 3s, 8s and 3s. All right, and then let's do the, put this out of the way a little bit, and we'll do the bases. So Dutch Harbor just has these 2 that are ship side, so they'll go ready for sea. All these go ready for sea at Fremantle. And we need to roll for the skipjack. They're going to need a 4 or less. Nope. I finally rolled something other than a 3 or an 8. And then here at Pearl Harbor, if you remember, the reason these 2 were still sitting ready for sea, we decided to leave them back at the end of last week. to guarantee us being able to form a wolf pack this turn. But hopefully we'll be able to do it with some of these. So yeah, no one's pier side here, so we just need to roll for this whole stack of all our new and returning subs. So we have the grouper, 5 or less. No. Put them like that because they're going to go back in the broom box, or not in the broom box, they'll go in the pier side. And then we'll put the ones that pass here. Who's that? The Harder, 5 or less. No. Maybe we won't be able to form a wolf pack at Pearl Harbor. The Golay, 5 or less. Yes. The Bang, 5 or less. No. The Parsh, 5 or less. No. Well, here's our last chance to be able to form a wolf pack at Pearl Harbor. Pampanito. Yes, okay. So that's going to be, well, I don't know, it's 2 Balaus and a P2. We might have some better options at Fremantle. It's hoping for 3 Balaus. All right, that's it for the ready phase. So then we go to the repair phase. This is only bases. There's no repair boxes at the tenders. So we'll start up here at Dutch Harbor. Got quite a pile here. They all need 5s to move out, 5 or less, from repair box 1. So S32, they make it out. S42, they make it out. S40, they make it out. And S41, they make it out. Right? 0-0 in this game, right? Not 10. Let's see how long it's been since I played. I can't even remember that. Should be near the front here, I would think. Yes, the conventions little sub box here. When rolling the 10-sided die, 0 is always 0 and not 10. So that is indeed a pass. So all of them made it out. Okay, we have what was this? Haddock needing a 7 or less at Fremantle to get out of jail. He does. And then Thresher needs a 5 or less to move into repair box 1. Yes. Wow, we're on fire here. Okay, here's another one we really want to pass. Our other super skipper. Greenling with Grider. These both need a 6. So we have the Greenling and the, I can't read it sideways, the Robolo. So we'll do black die for the Greenling, white die for the Robolo, looking for 6 or less. And, oh, I want those to be the other way around. Well, the Robolo makes it out, but the Greenling does not. And then lastly, we have the Redfin needing a 4 or less to get out of repair box 3. No. All right, so that concludes the repair phase, and the last step of Triple R, which doesn't start with an R, is prep for operations. So we'll just move everybody up to the operating section of their respective op areas. Okay, I think that's everyone. All right. That will take us to the operations segment. So I tend to prefer getting all the returning subs back first to get them out of the way, so as to minimize congregating risk. So let's see what we have here. Got two here that can, well, they can try to get into the, you know, I need to double check these two because I couldn't remember for sure which of these was the Sperry and which was the Fulton. So give me a sec. Yep, I got them right. So let's see. So yeah, these two can make it into the Fulton. There's plenty of room there, so we'll just go ahead and have them do that. There's no red boxes in the area they're entering or where they're leaving, but that doesn't matter. So they don't need to do a transit event check. And they will just go into the Fulton's broom box. Put this back out here a little bit. Okay. What else? We got some over here that can reach the Bushnell. Now, these can each hold 7. So the Bushnell currently has 5. We can get 2 more of them in there immediately without having to move anybody out. Looks like we just have, oh, there's a couple of them there. We have exactly 2, so we'll do the seal first, so they'll come down through the South China Sea to the South Philippine Sea. There is 1 red box in each op area they move through. However, since they're on transit side, they get a -1 modifier to their die roll, so there's no way that they can roll a 9. Yeah, I guess all I had to do was look here to see, yeah, 0 is 0. So they make it in safely to the Bushnell. And then we've got the, who's that, the Whale. They're damaged, but same deal, transit side, so -1 DRM to the transit event check, so no roll needed. But now we need to see if they're allowed to come into the Bushnell. They can only take them if they have superficial damage. So we need to roll on the damage table. If they get a 0 to 2, they're good. If not, they have to sail on. Oh, just made it. All right, good. So they will also go there. Now the Bushnell is full, at least for the moment. I don't think we have anyone else that can reach there anyway. These are all still patrolling. Looks like the fact that these guys are still here means they failed their damage check last time, so they're going to have to go back to Pearl Harbor. So they will go through the Hawaiian Islands. No red box, so no transit event check needed. And then let's see how bad their damage is now. Ooh, an 8. Heavy damage. They're going into repair box 3. That's the Raton. Okay. And we've got... we got quite a few that need to get into the Sperry, it looks like. They've only got room for 3 at the moment. Well, these guys can only reach the Fulton, so I guess we can... Oh no, they have to go back to Pearl Harbor. They're the ones being withdrawn. So I think we can go ahead and just move them to here. That's not going to affect anything. They'll stay there, reach Pearl Harbor next turn. What do we have here? We have one up in the Sea of Japan that needs to come back. We've got one here, but he can reach the Fulton. We've got, is it 3 here? Yikes, yeah. And, well, actually, they can reach the Fulton as well. So, the Sperry can take 2, 3, 4. I mean, once we move the 3 out that are ready for sea, they can take 6 more. But right now, they can take 3 more. So, why don't we go ahead and get these 3. They're all undamaged. They can all make it in there for sure. Obviously, they're going to move one at a time, but they'll move through here, 2 here. Again, only 1 red box, transit side. No checks needed. They can all go into the Sperry's broom box. They are now full. So I think we will send these guys to the Fulton. Again, well, no red box anyway, but they would have a -2 modifier actually because they're using cautious transit and they're on transit side, so they're definitely safe. That's the Burrfish going into the Fulton. And that leaves these guys. They can't reach anything. I think we'll send them just to kind of keep them out of the way. Send them down here to the Marianas. There's only three subs there, so no congregating risk for moving through that area. Yeah, so then that just leaves these. They could get into the Sperry if we move somebody out. So let's see, where would we want someone to go? Probably into the Empire Pacific. In fact, we're just going to move all 3 of these guys into there. So they're departing from here, moving through the Coral Islands into the Empire Pacific. And then, again, it would be 1 at a time. And then they'll flip to their patrol side there. 1 red box along the path, so no transit event check needed since they were on transit side. And that lets us move these guys through the Coral Islands to the North Pacific, and then we'll see if they can get in there or not. Let's see what their damage roll is. Must be superficial. Nope. Not even close. So they will have to sail on to Pearl Harbor next turn. Yeah, looks like that's everybody. So we are ready to start doing some patrolling. I think we'll start over here in the South China Sea 2 area. Go ahead and move the Sea Dragon down into there. So they will need to do a transit event check, but only potential issues will be if they roll a 9. They do not. So we'll do a search and contact roll. The black die will be the column on the area activity chart, and the white die will be the patrol or the convoy type. 5. We've got a 1 and a 6, so I don't think they're going to find anything. Well, they do get a +1 to their search and contact roll, which makes it a 2, but still not good enough. So they find nothing. So just to quickly remind myself again, sequence here. They did search and contact. Since they didn't find anything, they skipped the combat phase. They go straight to the endurance check. And for that, we consult the endurance table. They are a B rating. So they'll be on this column. Our torpedo value is +1. So they need a 6 or less. But since they encountered no enemy contacts, they get a -1 to that roll. So actually a 7 or less will allow them to stay out. Yes. We'll go to the done section. And we'll do the same thing with the gudgeon. Patrol move down. Remember, this is a shallow. I know the narrow affects your search and contact. I don't think shallow has any effect. We all have radar, so that's not going to come into play. I'll have to remind myself what all the effects of shallow op areas are. All right, but for this, we're doing a transit event check. I think it would have affected this if we didn't have radar. So we just need not roll a 9. Good. And then search and contact with a +1. Black die is the first roll, and again, only a 2. And I think for a for a loner, we would have to have a white box result on the first die and then a red box result on the second die, which we did not achieve that either. So nothing for them. So they go straight to their endurance check. They are also a B rating. So same. They'll need a 7 or less. And they did not make it. So they will have to RTB. And that is everyone that can reach the South China Sea 2 op area this turn. All right. Next, why don't we go ahead and do the Sea of Japan up here. We have the Ray there, who is spotted. They're going to do a search and contact roll. No modifiers this time. Wow, just keep getting 1s. Oh, but a 1 does find something here. Okay, that's good. So that's sparse, and then the 5 for the second roll. So we're on war period 3 is going to be a large convoy. The green C2 is large convoy. All right, so then we look down here. We're in war period 3. Sparse is going to use this column. A C2 means we get 1 counter from cup A, 2 from cup B, 1 from cup C, and 1 from cup D. So we'll draw those and get them set up here on the combat display. All right, so here's what we got. Another thing I noticed as I was getting everything set back up again was apparently for the last month I was using one too many of the 5,000 ton or less merchant class ships and 2 fewer of the 6 ton or greater merchant class ships. I'm not sure how that happened, but I had 1 extra of the one type and 2, I was short 2 of the other type. So we got that corrected. So yeah, anyway, let's see. I think we want to go So our this is our tactical rating, I believe it's called, the last number there, which is the number of counters that we have to flip over when we do an attack. And that can be modified up or down by choosing a posture of either aggressive or cautious, which each has their own benefits and drawbacks. In this case, I think we're going to want to set up in column A and go aggressive. Since all three of these are red balls, I'm going to feel a little gutsy here and hope one of them isn't fooling us. So that means we would have to flip over 5, but since you can only flip over in your column and adjacent columns, we'll still only have to flip these 3. But then that's also going to give us a +1 die roll modifier on our 2-hit rolls. So, assuming these are all truly non-threatening ships, we should be in good shape with this. But let's find out. So we're flipping over 5, but really only 3. Oh, yeah, that one burned us. Oh, and I need to remember, you're supposed to replace these as soon as you flip them, which I wasn't doing for the longest time. I was revealing everything and then replacing stuff. Alright, so we have the Amatsukaze. Yikes, that's a big boy. It goes back to Cup A. And then we've got one more. Okay, good. Well, at least those two were innocent little merchants. One not so little. Okay, so now that we've revealed, and we didn't reveal a diligent escort, so we don't have to do a special initial counterattack on us. Now we get to place our TDC markers. So the other thing the tactical rating does is it dictates how many TDC markers you place. So we will be placing 4, but again, you can only place them in your column and adjacent columns, so we can actually only place 3. So a while back, I had spray coated these the TDC markers with this clear matte spray that I got since they were starting to show quite a bit of wear. And just before I resumed here, I decided to go ahead and do the same thing to all of the counters in the War Mix cups, because they're starting to get a bit grungy, let's say, from all the handling. So hopefully that will help reduce that for them as well. All right, so there's our TDCs, and we can reveal them all. All right, well, we got one good one over here. I mean, this is a good one, but I mean, we could theoretically target this because there's a special rule for the first round. If you can target an escort, and if you do, has to be a DD or a DE, I believe, are the only types you can do this with. You can ignore their ASW value. So if we did do that, we'd be looking at, we're an 8 because we got +1 torpedoes, remember? So we're an 8 against a 7. We'd ignore his 3 ASW. These aren't contributing any. And -2 from his 7 would make him a 5. So we'd be 8 against 5. So we'd need a 3 or less. However, we get We get +1 because we went aggressive. And then, do we get to add our torpedo value in again for that roll? I can't remember now. Let me review the combat procedure here real quick. All right, so yeah, the torpedo value doesn't affect your 2-hit roll. It's just affecting your attack value. So we're at 7 + 1, which is 8. He's at 7, and then -2 for the TDC, which is 5. So our 2-hit number is 3. So we need a 3 or less, but we get a -1 DRM because we're in aggressive attack posture. Thinking there was another. There's like a twofold aspect to that aggressive posture. Oh, right, I forgot. TDC, that's what it is. TDCs have a -1 because we're aggressive as well. I knew the aggressive basically gave you a net -2. I just had to rework out exactly how it worked. So this is actually a -3 TDC because we're aggressive. So he's actually only a 4 to our 8. So we need, the 2-hit number is a 4. And then with our aggressive modifier, we would actually hit it on a 5 or less. So we'd have a 60% chance of hitting it with the D10 with results 0 through 9. So that's if we target him. Our other options are, this one's I'm not even going to look at because that's not very good. So this guy is a 1. But then he gets +1 for being over a column over from us, so that makes it 2. He gets 3 from the ASW value of the destroyer, so that makes his defense value 5. But then this is actually a -4 TDC, and yes, aggressive posture can take it below -3. So that puts him back down to a 1. Excuse me. And then we're an 8, so that makes the 2-hit number a 7. And we would actually hit on an 8 or less because of our aggressive die roll modifier. I guess just for fun, we can see what this one would be. So he'd be 2 + 1 for being over a column. +3 is 6. That TDC is a 0. We're an 8, so he'd be at 2. So not very good there. Now, what we could do is split our shot, and I think even if we do a split shot, as long as we target this escort, we still don't count his ASW value for any of the calculations. I don't think I've run into this situation before, but that sounds like that's how it should work. And if that's the case, that makes this an even easier shot, and we could probably get away with only sending like 1 or 2 attack factors at that. Let me just confirm that. All right, well, this is, at this point, a bit of an academic question because as I started looking this up, I realized we can't utilize the targeting an escort rule because we're spotted. So that disqualifies us from being able to use this. So, but it is still yeah, that's getting on to something else there. Early advancement. Yeah, you can target 1 DD or DE escort, and that escort's ASW value is not counted as part of the defense of that unit. But does that mean it is still counted as part of the defense of other units? Probably so. I don't know. That might be one I have to ask Brian about. Like I said, I don't think I've ever had this situation arise where I would want to possibly target this and, you know, split between it and another target, and how that would apply in this situation. But like I said, it's a moot point because we can't do it because we're spotted. So that becomes, I think, well, not untargetable, but I think it would be a 1 then for the 2-hit number, since we'd have to add that 3 back into it, to his defense value. So, yeah, we're just going to go after the 2,000 ton merchant, needing an 8 or less. And so I'll roll the black die for the 2-hit roll, and then the white die will be the results on the attack and damage table if we actually get a hit. So we need an 8 or less on the black die. And we got it. We got a 0, but we only got a 1. Okay, this is where I was thinking. I knew there was 2 places that the torpedo value came into play. Like it had a double benefit. And I just remembered where the other place was. It's here. So we got a 1 on our second roll, but that gets modified by our torpedo value. So it's actually a 2, but that's still only enough to damage it. So we have damaged the 2,000 ton merchant. And now we are subject to a counterattack. So we take the revealed ASW, which is 3. We add in the number of red boxes in the op area, which were in the Sea of Japan, so that's going to be 2 for War Period 3. So we're up to 5. And then we also add in the general ASW value for the War Period, which is 3, up there on the current War Period table. So that's going to be a total of 8. Which will be the attack value for the counterattack. And then our defense value is, okay, this is where shallow water comes. I know this is one place where shallow water comes in. Our defense is 4. If we were in shallow water, that would be reduced by 1. But the Sea of Japan is not. So we can subtract 4 from that 8, which leaves 4. And that will determine the row of the counterattack table to use. So we're on the 3 to 4 row. And then modifiers that are in effect are +1 because we're aggressive and +1 because we're spotted. So they're going to be rolling on the 3 to 4 row with a +2 modifier. Yikes. And then, again, I roll 2 dice for this because there is a possibility that we need to make a second roll. If we get any of these results with the plus in it, then the white die will be for the second roll. So it's 3 to 4 row with a +2. Let's hope they roll low. Ooh, they did not. 7 becomes 9. On the 3 to 4 row is yellow. That's a damaged result. So we are damaged as well. So now at this point, we have the option to withdraw or do a reattack. And seeing as how we're damaged and spotted, I think it is wise to withdraw. So we do an endurance check. We are an A rating, so we're over here in this first column, torpedo value of 1. So normally we'd need a 7, however, we went aggressive, so we get a +1, and we're damaged, another +1. So we actually need a 5 or less to pass this. And we don't get it, which is just as well. We don't need to be sticking around up there while we're damaged and spotted. Oh, and then what I've been doing, just as an ease of play, Normally, you roll for these to see if they lose their spotted marker at the end of the operations segment after everyone's done their operations. But I like to do it now because nothing's going to happen to the sub between now and then that the fact that it's spotted would have any effect. So we need to roll a 6 or less to lose our spotted marker, and we do. So at least we're no longer spotted, but we're still damaged and have to head back home. All right, so that's it for the Sea of Japan. Why don't we go ahead and knock out the Kuril Islands next, just to get them out of the way. And so we've got the S-31 making a search and contact roll. 2-0. Wow. All these low rolls, so that's going to be a big nothing. Now, if it had been a 0-0, that would be a sub versus sub contact. But 2-0 is just a whole lot of nothing. So they will do an endurance check. They're D rating, which means a 4 or less, but they didn't find anything, so 5 or less. And yes, they get to stay out. Then we have the S-46. There we go, 4-9. That should be something. It's going to be a sparse, and a 9 for War Period 3 is a task force. 9 for any war period is a task force. So a sparse task force in War Period 3 is going to be 1, 1, 2, and 3. All right, here's what we got for the S-46. Tactical rating of only 2. So we could set up here in column B, go aggressive, and that would let us flip over 3 of these, or we could play it a little bit safer and go column A, still go aggressive, but then we'd only have to flip over these 2. I think we'll do that, being that this is just an S3 with only 3 attack and 2 defense. Let's be a little conservative here. All right, so aggressive posture, so we're flipping 3. We can only do 2. Okay, that's an auxiliary. Need to replace that. We've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 auxiliary counters left. We've done a pretty good job of depleting those. All right, it is, it's the break. So this one should actually have a German flag on it, but I don't think there's any special, there's no little flag there, so there's no special rules for that one. All right, so this goes back to cup A, and then we flip here. Another auxiliary, nice. And this one is the Santos Maru. Stores ship. That goes to column B, or cup B. All right, so we're aggressive. So we still only place 2 TDC markers though. Posture doesn't affect your tactical rating in terms of how many TDC markers you place. We'll go there and there. Both 3 defense, so hey, there we go. That's a -2. That becomes a -3. And that's also a -2, becomes a -3. But we're going after the higher tonnage, plus it's in our column, so we don't have that penalty. So 3 minus 3 is 0. We are a 4, thanks to our +1 torpedo value. So 2-hit number is 4. With our aggressive modifier, we need a 5 or less. 8. No good. All right, no counterattack. We can stay where we are and re-attack without having to reveal anything else. So we'll do that. We'll remain aggressive. And we get 2 more markers, TDC markers. hopefully just as good. Potentially we can get down to, we get a -1 now for reattack and another -1 for aggressive. However, the reattack modifier can't affect a -3 marker. It's a +1 this time. That's not as good. -1. So looks like even with the penalty for going over a column, we're going to be better off going for this one. It's only 2,000 fewer tons. So that's going to be a -3 now. So 3 + 1 for being over a column, -3 makes them a 1. We're a 4, so our 2-hit number is 3. And we need a 4 or less with our aggressive modifier. There we go. Oh, that 9 is going to certainly do it for the torpedo or the damage roll, attack results roll. 9 becomes 10, which is off the chart. And 8,000 tons is the second column, so certainly sinks it. I mean, a 9 will sink anything, so don't even have to look. All right, so let's record that. I need, where's my, oh yeah, this is what I've been using for tracking that. I think. Not, we are now. So this is week 1 of March 44. And we have the S-46 sinks the AS Santos Maru for 8,000 tons. So our ship count will go up by 1, and our tonnage will go up by 8. So we'll move this back 2 and move this up 1 space. And this can go to the pile of shame, which I haven't rebuilt yet. So we'll just start a new pile of shame. All right. Again, no counterattack. So now we go to endurance check. They are a D rating. We went aggressive, so we're going to need a 3 or less. And we did not get it. They will have to RTB. And we'll go next to, I guess let's go to the Bonans next. Get our other Ultra Area knocked out. So the Blackfish, search and contact roll with a +1 modifier. 6 and 4. 6 is going to be low density, and 4 is a small convoy. So low density small convoy in war period 3. We get to add 1 to each column that has a number because it's an ultra area. So we get 3, 3, and 2. All right, we got 1 no solution marker here. Evading. Kato class with the Blackfish. I'm thinking we might set up here in column C. That way in the reattack round we have the option of sliding over here to avoid having to reveal more than we'd like to. Let's go standard attack posture, I guess. We'll reveal 4. We're going to do these 2 because that's what'll be left anyway if we decide to slide over. And then we do have the unflip option available to us with our radar. Oh, nice, a carrier. Okay, they do have a few of those left. Let's see which one it is. It is, oh, the new one, the Chiyoda. Only 3 defense, nice. So that goes back to cup C. And then here we've got a destroyer. We'll unflip that. Means we're going to have to flip all three of these. Which could be good, could be bad. Oh, that's another destroyer. Can't unflip that one. At least we'll be able to get rid of, not get rid of it, but get away from that one. Might be able to get rid of it. The Unagi. It's not too bad. And then here we have, oh, that's what I was afraid of. Diligent. Again, we can get away from it in the reattack round. Assuming we make it that far. It's going to be the Hamikaze. So that becomes a, what is it they get? +2 or +3? I can't remember now. Diligent Escort. Oh, this is going to be in the IJN rules, actually. So for Diligent Escorts, here we go. They get a +3, but cannot exceed 6. So they are now a 5. And they get to make an immediate counterattack using this row. This special row here on the counterattack table. There's no modifiers in play. We're standard posture and we're not spotted or any of that kind of stuff. So we need it to be a 5 or less. This one doesn't need a second roll. Yes, perfect, 0. All right, and then our last one. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Okay, well this is all right because they're in the same column. And if you draw or reveal, not draw, I think it actually used to say draw in the rules, so we fixed that. You're not drawing them, you're just revealing them. If a second Diligent Escort is revealed in the same column and Combat Event 5 Deadly Division occurred any time, which it did not, then you just treat it as normal. If Combat Event 5 is not active, the second Diligent Escort is ignored, removed, do not replace. Perfect. So this just goes away and is not replaced with anything. So this is what we got. So our 4 TDC markers have obvious places to go here. We will have to target that face down destroyer, but hopefully that's not our only viable target, quote unquote viable target, because it won't be after we reveal it. We have to assume it has a 1 defense when calculating our possible targeting here, though. Hopefully we can get a good shot on that carrier. So those are both +1s. Nope. +2. +2. Okay. Still, it might be close. If we have to take a shot at that, that's going to be terrible. Because if we have no valid shot, then we can get by without being counterattacked. But all right, so this guy's a 5. We can't use the targeting and escort rule because there's a Diligent Escort revealed. I think someone pointed out recently in one of my early videos, I talked about possibly being able to target an escort, but then forgetting that, no, you can't because there's a Diligent Escort revealed. I didn't end up doing it, but the fact that I talked about it might lead you to believe it would have been possible. So here we've got 3, actually we've got 5.5, so that's going to round up to 6. So this is 9 plus 2 is 11, yeah, so we got nothing there. Unfortunately, we have to assume this has 1 defense, So 1 plus 6 is 7, plus 2 is 9. Okay, good. They're out of reach by just barely. So yeah, we got no shot on anything, which is probably the best result we could have hoped for. Because now, since it's the first round, if this was a reattack round, it wouldn't matter. We'd still get counterattacked. But since it's the first round and we had no viable solution, there is no counterattack. Now we can slide over here and reattack. We'll have to reveal this. We'll, let's see. I guess going cautious here isn't going to hurt anything, right? Because we'll make this our selector, whatever it's called, the not chosen, but the unmodified TDC. So this will be our unmodified TDC. So I mean, we could theoretically go aggressive actually, but that might be a little dangerous. I mean, we know it's only going to be one destroyer. Yeah, you know what? Let's go aggressive. Now, if we had been cautious in the first round, we wouldn't be able to go too aggressive because you can only change by one level on your posture unless you have a super skipper. Then you can jump straight from cautious to aggressive or vice versa. Okay, well, I was hoping for another one of these, but the Suzuki 7-2. This goes in cup C. All right, so we need TDC markers and hope for a -2 or below for our carrier. All right. Oh, come on. Oh, I should have put them the other way. That's terrible. All right, so we've got, this becomes a 1 because we're aggressive and it's a reattack round. So 3 plus 1 is 4, plus another 2 is 6, plus 1 for being over a column is 7. We're in 8. So our 2-hit number is 1. We need a 2 or less with our aggressive posture. So that turned out horrible. Nope. And now we do get a counterattack of 2 plus, where are we at here? The bonus. 1 red box. So that's 3. These guys ASW doesn't count because they're more than a column over. If they were aircraft, they would. And in fact, if there were carriers, oh, that reminds me, this has a 1/2 for counterattack purposes only. If there were carriers over here, they would also still count. But anyway, so we've got 2.5. So that'll round up to 3. 1 red box makes 4, and then 3 for the war period makes 7. We have 4 defense. It's not shallow water, so it's going to be 3 to 4 row again. And they will get that +1 for us being aggressive, but nothing else. So 3 to 4 row with a +1. 3 becomes 4. I think we're fine. Yes. No effect. And for our endurance check, we are an A rating. We were aggressive, so we need a 6 or less. Yes. Nice. All right. Well, kind of disappointing there, but at least we came out unscathed and get to stay out. All right, so Swordfish is next. Search and contact with a +1. 5-2 will be a sparse small convoy. And again, an extra ship in each column that has a number will give us 3 and 2. Alrighty. I think we're going to go here in column A, and we're going to go cautious. That way we only have to flip over 3 instead of 4. Oh, unflip that. Oh, come on. Let's see what this is. Okay. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Well, I know this can't be a diligent escort, so I think we got to go with this one. Oh, good. Well, maybe. It's a light cruiser, but they don't have any light cruisers. Let me see what happens in that situation. I don't remember. Depletion of a class pile. Should a pile of ship types be depleted, e.g. all CLs have been sunk? Exactly our situation here. Ships of that type are considered not to be present. No IJN set replacement is drawn, and the SW set counter is returned to the cup in order to maintain the game's probabilities. Any expended TDC markers placed on the ship are simply removed and ignored. They are not replaced. Okay. With the exception of the auxiliary depletion. And what I was looking for is, do we have to reveal something else in its place? And it looks like we do not. So we just return that to the cup and don't have to reveal anything else. Oh, and I did it again. We're supposed to replace this DD immediately. The Hatsuharu. Yeah. Hatsuharu. It's not Hatsuharu. Hatsuharu. Okay. No syllables that end with a consonant in Japanese is what I've been told. So that TS is actually at the beginning of the second syllable. All right. We still got to put a TDC marker on everything. All right, what do we got here? We don't care about that one. We don't care about that one. We don't care about that one. This one, oh, it's only a 0. Okay, so what are we looking at here? We are, what did I say? Cautious, right? Yeah. So this will be our unmodified TDC. So 3 plus 2 plus 1 is 6. We are a 7. So we need a 1 or less. Flip-flop them would have been great. All right, so that's a miss. Counterattack will be at 2 plus 1 red box. Excuse me. Plus 3 for the war period makes 6. We have 3 defense. So once again, 3 to 4 row. This time though, we are cautious, so they get a -1 modifier. So 4 again is safe. Boy, do we want to try to reattack? I hate to let that 7,000 tonner go. But that would mean we'd have to reveal both of these. Ugh. Yeah, I don't think so. Not worth it. So endurance check, B rating. We did not go aggressive. No other modifiers apply, so we need a 6 or less. Just missed it. So the swordfish will involuntarily RTB. And lastly here we have the Capelin, or +1 to search and contact. 3-1. I don't think that's going to be good enough. It is not. They are A rating and encountered no enemy contacts, so they're going to need an 8 or less. Yes. Go ahead and put them underneath our one that has to go home. All right. I don't think we'll be bringing anyone else into that ultra area because I think I'd rather just have the Pacuda patrol in the Empire Pacific. In fact, let's go ahead and do that next. So search and contact, no modifiers on. 8-1, that's going to be something. That is a moderate density small convoy. So 3, 2, and 1. Okay, let's see where we want to go for this. I'm almost thinking of starting over here in column C so that we can slide over here if we need to get rid of some nasty stuff here. Let's try that. We'll go standard posture, I think. We're only going to have to flip 3. Ooh, one of those new DEs. But they just get replaced by a DD, which could potentially be a DE as well, but none of the DEs actually show up until later, I don't think. It's the Uzuki. And this one, oh, Diligent. Yikes. Adjacent column, does that make a difference? I can't remember. That's the center, but that's not going to help. Oh, I forgot this last time. You can attempt a crash dive when a Diligent escort is revealed. I forgot all about that. Let's see. Yeah, I think the column only matters when you're aggressive. Yeah, same column, they get a +2, and adjacent column, they get a +1. So yeah, for this, it's not going to make a difference. Well, let's, I guess, see which destroyer it actually is, and then we can try to crash dive. It's the Wakaba, so he gets +3 ASW, making him a 5. Our crash dive rating is a 0, so we need to roll 0 to escape this. Nope, quite the opposite. And Diligent escort counterattack. 4 is good. 5 or less is nothing. All right, good thing I remembered that crash dive, or we would have been sunk with that 9. Last but not least, a little 1-ton merchant over here. Wow, 1,000-ton. All right, well, I need some TDC markers. Like that was a good idea I had to set up in column C, because we can indeed get away from that stuff in the reattack round. Assuming we make it that far. All right, let's see what we got. +1, don't care. -2, would have liked to have had that over here. And 0. All right, so 5.5 rounds up to 6, plus his 2 defense makes 8. We're an 8, so we can hit on a 0. Oh, look at that. We did it. We don't need a re-attack round. All right, so the Pakuda. It's a 1,000-ton merchant. Mark that up. Their tons and ships are together, and they're going to stay together. All right, now to potentially pay the price for that. 5.5 rounds up to 6. 1 red box makes 7. 3 for the war period makes 10. We're not in shallow waters. We have 5 defense, fortunately. So they're on the 5 to 6 row with no modifiers. 5. That might be something. Ooh, just spotted. Thankfully. All right. We will withdraw. So we'll do our endurance check. We're an A rating. We're not damaged. We didn't go aggressive. So we need a 7 or less. Got it. And then we'll roll to see if we lose that spotted marker. And we do. All right, I think we'll next slide right over here to the East China Sea and start with the Apagon. Search and contact. 2-8. Not quite good enough. Endurance check. A rating. Found no contact, so 8 or less. Perfect. Then we have the Backfish. Search and contact. 5-7. That'll do. Low density. Large convoy. So we're looking at 2-2, 1-1. Well, this doesn't look very good for us. I can either C or D. You know what? Let's just try column D. See what we can do. We'll go standard for the time being. Man. Can't get away from these. It's a big one too. The Shigura becomes a 6. Attempt to crash dive. And a 0, nope. And Diligent Escort counterattack. 6 is going to be spotted. Oh, come on. Let's pack up and go home. Well, hopefully this will have a big ASW value too, and we won't be able to get a shot. The Harusame. All right. Big TDC numbers. think we're still fine. So 6, 7, 8. Yeah, plus 6 is 14. I don't think we had anything to worry about. And then this one will be the same because even though it's -1, it's over a column. So we're not touching a 14, so there's no counterattack. And we will just withdraw. A rating, yes, 7 or less. Good. Oh, let's see if he loses his spotted marker. Nope. Needed a 6 or less. All right, the Wahoo. No, Wahoo. Haddo. I think the Wahoo's been sunk. Looked like Wahoo from when I first looked at it. The Haddo, search and contact. 7-4. There we go. Moderate density. And 4 is a small convoy. Maybe we can get something a little less dangerous here. 3, 2, 1. Alrighty. Let's try column A this time. This one is too fast. Let's go cautious. Excuse me. That way we can utilize our radar if we need to. We'll start with these two. Good, good. Like some more tonnage, but beggars can't be choosers, right? All right, let's see what this is. Ooh. You know what? I should have done that one first. Well, if it was a diligent, I wouldn't have been able to unflip it anyway. Let's see what this is, and then we can decide if we want to unflip. Ooh, I think we'll keep it. The Uzuki again. I think we just had him. All right. TDC markers. We could target the Uzuki here and ignore his ASW value. That reminds me, I need to ask about that, how that works with a split shot. All right, let's see what these are. +1, probably won't be doing that. -1, +2, and 0. All right, well, here's our best shot. 2 defense plus a half ASW rounds up to 1, so 3. -1 is 2. We're an 8, so that's a 6. And remember, we went cautious, so we have to make one of these the unmodified TDC. Anything else will be subject to +1 modifier on the TDC and a +1 modifier on the 2-hit roll. So split shot is probably not in order here, so we're just going to go with that. 6 or less. Yes. So another little baby merchant for the Haddo. And now all 3 of these are together. All right, counterattack. Half rounds up to 1. We've got, where are we at? East China Sea, 1 red box, and then 3 for the war period makes 5. We have 4 defense. However, this is shallow, so we only get to subtract 3, sorry. So 1 to 2 row. And -1 because we're cautious. 4 becomes 3. Nothing. Now, do we want to take a crack at this other one? I'm going to say yes, but we're going to stay cautious. Okay, just a regular destroyer. Let's hope it's another 1/2, and it will be no worse than it already was. That's a 1. The Kamikaze. All right, TDC markers. Re-attack round now, so they all get -1. Except for -3s do not get that benefit. There we go. This is a -2. They've got 1 defense plus 1.5 rounds up to 2. So 3 total defense. -2 makes them a 1. We're an 8. So we need a 7 or less. That will obviously be our unmodified TDC. And 0 becomes 1, and it only damages them. Unfortunately, no super skipper, so we can't attempt a round 3 combat. Counterattack this time will be 1.5 rounds up to 2. 1 for the 1 red box makes 3. 3 for the war period makes 6. We can only subtract 3 because we're in shallow. Excuse me. Moves them up to the 3 to 4 row. -1 for cautious, but then +1 for re-attack. So 3 to 4, no modifier. 0 is nothing. Don't need to look. We can get rid of that because we're not going to be able to sink it. Endurance check, A rating 7. Yes. Oops. This. Oops. Guy with the spotted marker on top. All right, I think we'll just slide down here to the North Philippine Sea. I see no reason to leave the North Philippine Sea, so they'll all just patrol there. Rasher first, search and contact. Nope. 04 is nothing. A rating, didn't find anything, so 8 or less. Ooh, just barely. Then we have the Rock, Plain Johnson. Search and contact, 5-4. Sparse, small convoy, so 2 and 1. Oops. I was hoping we'd get 3 red balls. We could just come out guns blazing. I think I'm going to anyway. We know this can't be a diligent, so this might be, but hopefully not. We'll go aggressive. Yep. Hoping for the light cruiser there, although they don't have any light cruisers, so I think we would have to. I think it just says you have to reveal something else, or no. No, it just goes away and not replaced, if I remember correctly. Which would have been fine. the Satsuki. Remember, the first syllable does not end with T. It's Sa and then Tsuki. Satsuki. All right. Japanese 101. I guess. I only know that because someone else told me. I guess that's how everybody knows things. Someone else tells them. Oh, come on. That one over there is a diligent escort. I think it's time to... I don't know what it's time for, but I'll definitely be discouraged. The Amagiri. Okay, good. Well, let's see if we can manage to get a shot on this thing. We're aggressive, so our TDCs get -1, as does our 2-hit roll. Come on. So it's a 0. He's got 4, 5, +1 for being over a column makes 6. We're an 8. So we need a 2 or less. Come on, dice. Do me right. No. All right. 4 plus, where are we at? North Philippine Sea, 1 red box. Makes 5. 3 for the war period makes 8. Not shallow. So 8 minus 4 is 4. They'll be on the 3 to 4 row with a, oh, I forgot I actually needed it was a 3 or less that I needed because I forgot my die roll modifier, but we still didn't make it. We rolled a 5. 3 to 4, but +1 because we're aggressive. Should be fine. Yes. I don't think that little 1,000-ton merchant is worth the risk of another attack, so we will withdraw. A rating is a 7, but we went aggressive, so we need a 6 or less. Got it. Thanks for passing all of these endurance checks. Grayling. Search and contact. 2-0. I don't think so. Nope. They're a B rating, but didn't find anything. So normally would be a 6. They need a 7 or less. Ooh, just made it. And the Silver Sides. Search and contact. There we go. 7-6 will be low density, large convoy. 2211. All right. Well, when I first started pulling these, I was thinking, all right, we got 4 red balls here. We'll set up here and go aggressive. Just reveal that stuff. And we also got a red ball here. And of course, this could be a nice, juicy capital ship. So I'm kind of tempted to start over here. Kind of afraid to go aggressive, though, at least yet. So I think we'll go standard from here. So no radar to help us. Oh, come on. Seriously? Alright, at least it's a little one. The Akakazi. 3.5. We attempt a crash dive. We need a 0. Nope. And diligent escort counterattack. Ooh. Damaged RTB. Well, that's it for that. Okay. I believe that just leaves the runner. I think we will have them. Ooh, actually, we should have maybe. I forgot they could make it over to there. Probably should have moved somebody out. So South Philippine Sea and Marianas looks pretty much the same. So I think we'll send them up to the Marianas. Yeah, let's do that. So they'll patrol move up to there, so they'll have to do a transit event check. But only a 9 will cause potential issues. Ooh, almost. Search and contact. 2-8. Not good enough. Man. A lot of no contacts this turn. So they're an A rating, didn't find anything, so they need an 8 or less. Got it. And we'll slide them underneath this one since they're returning next turn. Alrighty. That's it for our ones out on patrol. So now let's see where we can send people. Let's look at our wolf pack situation. So we could do 2 Balaus and a P2 here, or not much better. A Balau, a new S1, and a P3. They have 4 attack. They have 5 attack. Yeah, I think we'll just go with this one. This will be our wolf pack. And we're going to send them to... We'll send them up to the North Pacific via the Hawaiian Islands. They only count as 2. Do we want to flip them patrol side, or do we want to let them move further in first? Let's let them move further in first, I think. All right. Then we have these 2 coming out of Dutch Harbor. We can just send them over to the Kuril Islands. There's only 2 there now. And they won't need to do transit event check. And we got these 4 coming out of Fremantle. I think we'll send 2 up into the South China Sea 2 area. Let's do these 2. Oops. And transit side, only 1 red box, so they don't need to do a transit event check. They'll patrol there next turn. We'll send these 2 over to the South Philippine Sea. Patrol there next turn. Again, only 1 red box along the way. All right, we've got 3 coming out of the Bushnell. I think we want to get them. How many we got here? You know what? what, let's hold off sending these two until after these guys go, because we want to send them through here up to South China Sea 1. That way they won't have any congregating risk issues. And as usual, transit event side, or transit side, only one red box, no transit event checks. Now these guys will move into here. And then we've only got one coming out of the Fulton, which is the Kingfish. And we're going to send him up into the East China Sea. Boom, boom. And patrol there next turn. All right. That is it for operations. Next, we go to the end turn segment. And don't need to worry about victory conditions. We already checked for spotted markers. Don't think there were any that had spotted markers from a previous turn. I don't think so. That we would need to check. Actually, we would have checked them again, I guess, after they did their movement or whatever. What else? Remove ultra markers. There's no tropical storms or typhoons because we're not getting weather this month. And then advance the date markers. So ultra markers can come off. We advance the date to week 2 of March 44. So that will be where we are next turn. So kind of a weak month here. We only sank 3 ships totaling 10,000 tons. We're at, what are we at? 566 ships sunk, totaling 2,516,000 tons. 73 subs lost. Wolfpack experience at 6. So that's going to conclude week 1 of March 44 of Silent War 2.0 with the IGN expansion. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Hopefully you're happy to see me back at Silent War playthrough. We'll try to get through the rest of this as soon as we can, and then look to move on to something else. All right, so thank you all for watching, and we will see you in the next episode. Bye for now.